Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner with the esteemed Dr. Kalind Bakshi and yours truly. Today's topic that we have in mind is something that we're both, we have great opinions on that, is the power of your words or power of the spoken word, however you wanna interpret that. Dr. Bakshi, if you can expand a little bit on that, that'd be great. And I'll definitely chime in this regard.
Yeah, Maulik, one of the things that is very interesting about the human being in evolutionary ladder is that we started speaking
Mm,
and we started expressing. It's language that came about, not
sure.
like animals who make some noises and then it doesn't make any sense.
Hmm.
So when the language started occurring, the human being started expressing the ideas and emotions through language.
Hmm.
And so it's kind of interesting that whatever is going on in terms of life
Sure.
being talked about by us. So the thought process comes first. And the thoughts have different qualities. They are good thoughts, they're not so good thoughts. Powerful thoughts are not so. And
Hmm.
experience is also good and bad.
Sure.
And then the next level is the mind tries to express it through speech. So speech comes as the next level of either expression, human
Hmm.
expression, or interaction with people.
Sure.
And so, therefore, it has a very interesting value and location in terms of, in a position, in terms
Hmm.
of how person lives and what kind of words he uses or she uses. Um, it it not only indicates what's going on inside the mind, but also it projects out in time frame in the future what is going to happen going forward. And an interesting aspect that we talk about this. So you have any thoughts on any of this or questions?
Yeah, I mean, the thought for me is, I kind of look at it as at a more basic level that how I apply this. And one of the things just being the type of person that I am, I've always, as I've grown up, and it's a tendency that I have now, and I did as a child, is that I always think two things before I say anything. Maybe it's overthinking, but whatever it may be, is does it have purpose and does it add value? So, does that purpose? It could be a positive purpose. It could be a purpose to communicate something I didn't like or whatever. Are the words aligning with that purpose? And then adding value. It could be a person, it could be a situation, a discussion, or whatever it may be. I it's almost subconscious that both these thoughts come to mind before I utter certain words, because I believe that when something is said, it has an impact. It has an impact on the person. It has an impact on the environment that you're in. It has an impact on the actions that people take, yourselves or otherwise, and the following thoughts that come from that. So these are, those are two sentences that I've learned to ask myself before I utter anything, and typically that doesn't stray me in the wrong direction, and allows me to keep that awareness that, hey, the words I say have meaning, they have power, they have an impact, so I better be mindful before I do.
Interesting you said purpose, because I was just referring to intention as one of the inside job of the mind. We have an
Sure.
intention to do something or to go somewhere, do it, have it, whatever. And in terms of relationship, I may have some thoughts about you, for example, but then do I say all of them?
Mm.
And if I say all of them, what the purpose in what I'm saying is, and what the reason for saying this. So the intention is one thing, but it's interesting that human beings, they've been given a little bit of a almost like a screen,
Hmm.
so that we have a screen about what are the words we come to our mind. Do we say all of them? Think about it. We cannot say in a lot of times situations, and supposing we say it, it has its own effect. So the purpose is one, and second point you said the value.
Hmm.
So the measure of this is done by the words we use.
Sure.
Measure of both of them, purpose and the value, is measured by the words we use. Now,
Sure. Sure.
the words can be up and down both ways, positive and negative words.
Right.
And they both have influences on not only on ourselves, but also others.
Right. And the other point, when you may have heard, you have heard this before. We've said this many times, and it's sometimes the basis of a disagreement or an argument is, there's a expression that there's a time and place to say something, and the other is it's not about what you said, it's about how you said it. And that's where the composition of what is being expressed and what is said comes into play. And so, the intent and the desire may be one thing, but how it's expressed and communicated can change the way the other person interprets it, how the situation is viewed, and so on and so forth.
And sometimes when they say, there's one saying that goes very interesting, that be careful about how hard words do you use, because sometimes you have to swallow them afterwards. So again, it's all relationship, and a lot more can be said about the words and types of words you use. And this is a huge topic, but it's an interesting question you asked about the quality of words, purpose of words, and the value of words, and whether to use words. A lot of times the communication is non-verbal too.
Sure.
So that, it gets into kind of interesting discussion there.
Yeah. In one point, I'll say one of the things that, I actually told my father one time that over something that happened years ago. And I said, it's the words you didn't say that meant a lot to me, more so than the words you could have. So,
Right.
that is the expression that you say is very appropriate. That sometimes it's actually what is held back and what is not said. And in that,
Right.
there are things communicated without us
Hundreds of examples on this about consent being, not saying anything, and it's a consented, implied, answer, stuff like that. So yeah, it's a great topic, and we can talk more about it, going further. But thank you for bringing this interesting topic up.
Thank you very much for sharing. Hope you guys got something out of that. And next time, think before you say something, and always mean what you say, and go from there. So until next time, see you then.